All right, guys, welcome to training video number 2 on how to set up your real estate business and copying, the way that I have mine set up. If you don't already know about me, by the way, this is video number 2, so no cheating. Go back and watch part 1 of copying my real estate business. But check out the blog. It's got a lot of free stuff on there. Over on the right-hand side, you can join the newsletter, get a couple of free contracts, even learn some ways to get some free leads off Craigslist. Super cool stuff. Let's get right into it. So in the last video, guys, I kind of broke down my other apps, the company link apps, the meetings, that kind of stuff. But this app, this property pipeline, is very, 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 very high level, very specific. I already explained in the previous video that these top two parts help manage every single lead, because we choose a department, and then within that department, we choose a deal status. So as a manager, right, of the company, if you want to step out as the owner, hire a manager, the manager knows at any time where the deal is in the pipeline, just because the partners here, or employees, if you will, they always disposition the property, and they let the whole team know where in the deal this actually is. And what's good about the way I set it up is that anybody can dead the deal. Anyone can dead the deal. And I like to know, as a manager of the company, where in the process it actually goes dead. I mean, does it go dead because marketing found that it doesn't meet our buying criteria? Does it go dead because analysis found that it's backing some power lines? Does it go dead because the analysis made it through, but then acquisitions finds that the seller's not that motivated? Did it go dead because we got under contract and for whatever reasons our buyers didn't like our pricing and we priced it wrong? Um, all of those things are good to know. Just deading a deal is good, but it's good to know where in the process the deal falls apart, because then you can identify where it's happening and button it up. So that's what that does. You can see here that every time we choose get a deal, we fill out who does the job. This is helpful for scaling. Imagine you have 2 managers, 3 admins, 1 analysis. When it comes time to close a deal and you're going to pay someone, be nice to know who worked on the deal, right? Well, that's why we have these contact areas. So we have the manager contact, the marketing contact, the admin, the analysis. This particular deal hasn't made it through acquisitions yet, hasn't been funded, dispositions hasn't resold, obviously. But so I'll kind of break this down. So I use within Podio the category section to break out each section. So you can see here I highlighted this one in blue, and anything that's blue the manager knows they must fill out. The date luckily fills out itself, but let's say this turned into a deal, this manager would add a Dropbox folder link where all the contracts and everything would go, pictures, things like that. From there it goes into marketing. This is how we track our return on investment. So you can see this particular lead came from what looks like my Craigslist hacks. The lead list is not applicable. The marketing piece, campaign drop. By the way, again, this whole entire property pipeline was customized by me, myself, and it was just years of what questions do I ask the homeowner? What questions do I figure out and ask when I'm reselling the property? What things are important to know when I want to see where my marketing money is going? So I have this actually on a nice Excel spreadsheet, and eventually, guys, I will have something where you can just download it all. I think that'd be pretty neat if I could put together some kind of product for you guys, and where you can just, get the property pipeline, see all the customized fields that I'm using and how I'm using them, whether they're drop-down lists or just little, squares that you select here, because you can do that option too in Podio. But let's get on with it. So for marketing, marketing has a second section here. This is actually this section here, this section 3. This is actually coming from the homeowner or the lead source. So I have websites with seller form leads, and you can create forms specifically from Podio. And so a lot of times when the homeowner fills out the information, even though this is marketing section, this is actually what the homeowner had placed in, or what my API collected from Craigslist using my hacks. So it's still a responsibility of the marketing department to look at it and make sure, is there a name here? Is there a phone number here? Is there an email here that we can email? In other words, each person always sets up the next person down the pipeline. There's a lot of checks and balances. Marketing sets it up for admin, admin sets up for analysis, so on and so forth. And whenever the next department feels like it's not done properly, let's say it makes it over to admin, and admin says, customer service says, what are we going to do here? There's no address. Okay, that was marketing's responsibility. So, every lead gets red carpet treatment. After we get all the information, marketing kind of checks it off, tags the deal, makes sure that asking price is in there. In the beginning, guys, this gap is not here. I want to kind of explain this because I think this is something that nobody does. Let's imagine you were on the inside and you were the acquisitions person within the organization, which you are right now. You're a one-person machine. But wouldn't it be nice to know the difference between what you're going to end up offering the person and what the seller wants in terms of both dollar amounts and a percentage? I mean, how awesome would it be to have the seller go, well, I want 250, and right off the bat, gosh, that's 13% over what I'm going to be offering, and that's 67 grand above what I'm going to be offering. So that's what I did for my acquisitions team. Is that, and you'll see it further down the road, is I created these pricing gaps of our actual offer. And what it does is it kind of shows the acquisitions team right off the bat, like who's kind of realistic, what seller's realistic about what their property's worth. And it also obviously tells them how much success they're going to have with that deal. I mean, if we have somebody who's asking 10 grand under current market value, we know, they're legitimate. They know what their property's worth, and they're realistic about getting it sold. However, if the person who's going to sell, the seller is asking for 25, 30, 40% over this current market value or worse off the after repair value, that's just terrible. And those are leads, by the way, that we're monetizing too. We're referring them to realtors, right? So that's what these are here. And there's just a little math calculation in Podio that I did that in. We also have some zip code tracking. That's something new. We're tracking what zip codes we're closing in the best. All right. So remember, guys, we're just making it out of marketing. We're getting right into administration. So the administration. So as you know, as an investor, you have to practice due diligence. You have to know bedroom, bathroom, square footage. Is there tenants in there? Was there damage to the property? All the way down to the homeowner's situation, right? I call it underwriting. So the customer service, the admin, they're sort of like the frontline underwriter. I have an insurance background, so the underwriters when I was doing health insurance and that kind of stuff back in the day, their job is to get all the details so they can find out what's the appropriate premium to write. Yeah. So in this case, that's what the administrator does. Is she or he goes in, they get the parcel number, they get the address, they find out if the property is occupied according to what information is available online. They find out if it's in a neighborhood that's out in the middle of nowhere. Is it suburban, urban, mountainside, whatever? And then they got, if it's residential, commercial piece of property, farming, piece of land, whatever. This is very detailed, guys. I had to break down every single field. And once I was done, though, I knew that it would be smooth sailing. So again, put yourself in acquisition shoes. You're ready to call a homeowner. You have no idea what the bedroom bathroom is. You're ready to call a homeowner. You have no idea what the taxes are. I'm not going to tell you that's going to prevent you from getting the deal done, but how awesome is it to have it all in one spot before you call the homeowner? And that's what customer service administration does. And I hope you build a department who does that. So you got the list price. They even have previous sale date and what they bought it for. So, by the way, note that this seller bought in 2009 for 167, and 5 years later they're selling for 250. I might give them that, maybe. That was sort of the bottom of the market here in Phoenix, but I'd like to see that they put some money into the property, because that may or may not be the current market value. Another thing too is we'll look up the condition of the property. There is a completely different offer that gets put together with a property that's been totally rehabbed versus a property that's totally beat up. You have this wide range of properties in terms of conditions. Think about the Kelley Blue Book. When you look at cars, and maybe you check the Kelley Blue Book, kbb.com, they have some algorithm that kind of gets ran in terms of conditions of automobiles. So when they give the value of that automobile, that condition is a huge factor. It just is, right? Aside from comparing sold, bedroom, bathroom, square footage, that is a huge thing. So admin gets all that. Um, there's a secondary part if it ends up being a takeover payments deal that admin does, but they have to activate it. So there's a whole other section of questions for short sale, probate, and loan information. If we take over payments, in a probate, there's an executor. In a short sale, there's a short sale demo and all kinds of stuff. And also, by the way, any one of these, you can add little comments here. So I help out my acquisitions when I train them and say, if you need a sentence, just hover here, Mr. Seller. This will put a little money in your pocket at close about what can you do on the property. Just little things like that I've added in. Not all of them have it, but some of them do. And once they're trained, they won't use them anymore. All right, on to analysis. So analysis gets the deal. Let's say it makes it past admin. Analysis gets it. This is so great. Analysis literally runs my proprietary software and attaches that to the lead, so that acquisitions already can see what the property's worth. Numbers have been ran. We knew exactly what to offer on the property. Multiple exit strategies. This is the turning point for each lead. If it makes it here and we get on the phone with them, boy, they're just blown away. We tell them what it's worth today, what it's worth fixed up. We hold nothing back. We are completely honest with our homeowners. We feel like, there's a disservice out there, and sometimes the MLS doesn't serve them properly. So we're able to just go, hey, check this out, guys. By the way, remember they're asking 250. This house is worth 185, and it's a newer build too. So we're 91% sure it's worth 185. So we're gonna try to make about 10 grand profit, and there's some offers within Podio that are already pre-calculated. But you can see this entire report is just sitting there waiting for acquisitions. Just sitting there waiting. We have comps. We can justify our numbers. This is REI AutoComp, by the way. If you want to get a copy of this, just visit reiautocomp.com. But I'm not going to leave my acquisitions high and dry. I'm going to give them the ammo they need to get a contract, right? So here they go. It's attached every time. We give them the rent rate, right? So analysis starts putting in all the data. They run the software, and they figure out all the information. So here it is. House, 185, fully fixed up, 220. This person wants 250. Distressed market value is 172. That tells me that whatever my offer is, I better be under 172. And if I want to wholesale it, I'm going to offer, 70 cents on the dollar minus my fee, and we're good to go. Now, nobody's actually called this yet, remember, so this part's not filled out, but we'll go a little bit quicker here because I have a totally different video on negotiation, how to talk to sellers on YouTube if you guys want to check that out. But the first thing I have acquisitions do is imagine acquisition gets a lead wherever it from bandit signs, online, offline, whatever. They get the lead. There's all this information just sitting there waiting for them. It's cherried, right? It's ready to go. And all they got to do is call the homeowner and confirm a couple things. Hey, this is such and such. Yeah, it looks like you applied online, or we see you're selling a house on Craigslist or Zillow, whatever. And we just say, is the property still available? They get into he or she confirms a couple things. Is it bedroom, bathroom? I see here our team found out it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. You're asking X amount of dollars. What are you selling for? What's the reason that you're looking to get it liquidated and get a cash offer? And this person's job, again, underwrites, finds out, is there real motivation here, and selects the motivation. When you're not able to select a motivation, guys, it's a retail deal. It's a realtor deal all day. If they're not looking to sell now, yes, you could follow up later, but when it makes sense. It's a house that needs no repairs, and they bought 2 years ago, and might have a little motivation. Maybe they got a job out of town, but they've got 6-7 months. Refer that to a realtor. Don't try to fit a square object into a round hole, or vice versa. In terms of the investment itself, focus on the numbers, and you're good to go. So let's see here. And when I say vice versa, I don't mean, circle into square. I mean, don't let them convince you that it's a good deal, because they'll try to act like, hey, no, I really want to do this and get it done and blah, 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 especially if it's something that's beyond your means in terms of repairs. It's just not going to work. So they get all that information, find out the repairs, and start the negotiation. And this looks like it's going to be a 3-part video, guys. So I'll start up this next one on negotiations and do part 3 of Copy My Real Estate Business. See you on the 3rd video. Take care.